Hello.
Hello.
So today we're going to be discussing one of the most underrated sci-fi movies of the 90s.
It has been buried for thousands of years. A threshold to the future. One man will break the code. The other will lead the way. What is it?
It's your Stargate.
Stay right here and shoot anything that comes down that ramp.
Stargate.
So for our reviews, what we'll do is we'll give it a mark out of 10 just to get it going to see if we're on the same page about the film. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, and we'll go. Okay? After
Yes.
3.
Yeah.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 8. Whoa.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
We both really like this film.
Yeah. What's the actual IMDb for this film? That's a good question because
Yeah.
I
look
think
what
it is underrated.
Yeah, because I've got like some facts about it, but I didn't actually look at the IMDb for it.
Hang on, Stargate. 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10.
That's pretty good, but Rotten Tomatoes 54%.
No.
It gets judged too harshly.
I think it is an underrated gem, and I think that it has developed like so many of these films that they were seen as people didn't really like them at the time as now they're cult classics.
Yeah.
But the weird thing about this one was that it was a hit. So it was a big hit. It was actually like made the most money of any film that year so far. But
What? I don't believe that.
yeah, it does. That's exactly what it was. They called it a sleeper hit, earning over 196 million worldwide on a 55 million budget.
Wow, you wouldn't think it.
You wouldn't think it.
Because I went to see it at Cinema 2,
Cinema, two smaller one.
Did we go at the same time?
Yeah.
It was completely packed
It
out.
was totally packed.
So much that you have people sitting next to you,
Yeah.
which I hate at the cinema.
Yeah.
I don't even like going to the cinema because of it.
Yeah.
But not a spare seat in the house.
And it's just a strange one because if you ever bring it up, it's one of those kind of films where when you say to somebody, you've seen Stargate, you see them looking at you like, what is that? Is that Star Trek, Star Wars?
Yeah, or they say, the TV
the
show.
TV show, and the TV show actually ran for like 13 seasons.
What?
So like people are more likely to be like, yeah, that was a TV show, wasn't it? It was on Sky. If they are going to bring it up at all, but it was a weird film in the fact that Kurt Russell didn't want to do it. He got the script. He said the script was terrible. It was one of the worst he'd ever read, and he only signed on to do it because they gave him $7 million for it.
Wow.
James Spader, like the lead guy, he said, "I hate sci-fi movies. I'll do it for the paycheck," and that was it. It's crazy, isn't it? Well, probably a good idea is to give a brief synopsis of what the film is. James Spader plays like a. It's like
a generic kind of generic scientist, archaeologist,
scientist nerd kind of thing, basically.
Yeah,
like highly intelligent, and he gives lectures on like ancient Egypt and things like that because the actual ideas from the film, the story, it drew on theories about ancient aliens and Egyptian pyramids, inspired by Eric von Däniken's controversial ancient astronaut. The ideas of that. Now, I didn't look that far into what the actual ideas were, but I thought that was enough,
Yeah, that's. What's his name? Angel. What? Angel Lionheart.
No, Eric von Däniken. Yes, that's his name. But research, mate. But it's not too deep. It's basically they find a way to go into the past through a Stargate.
In Stargate, interdimensional travel is achieved through devices like the Stargate.
Does it say how far back they go?
No, they don't go back. It's a different dimension.
Okay, yeah, well, okay, so they travel to a different dimension.
No, maybe they do go back. Put it in the comments if you actually know the history of it.
I mean, I only watched it like 2 weeks
me
ago.
too.
Yeah, we
randomly watched it on the same day or a couple of days out.
Because I think I sent you a picture of like, because this is, we're kind of nerdy when it comes to films and things like that.
He sends me nerdy pictures.
I know, I send him a picture saying that I'm watching this film right now. And basically, so it's in future when it comes up on a social media, it says you were watching this like 15 years ago, and I can send him a message and go, remember we were watching that, and then he just doesn't reply. But but yeah, so they Kurt Russell's like a colonel guy, and he's tasked with going to the other dimension and then finding out what's there. And so James Spader, he goes along because he knows about how to read the actual Stargate itself. And when they get there, they find that there's a whole new civilization, like on a desert world, but they're under the tyranny of like this evil ruler guy, who turns out that the actual evil ruler is it's an alien, but who's inhabiting the body of
inhabiting. Is that a word?
Yeah, it is a word. Yeah, that one's one you can look it up. Of the body of a human. And one of the actual the facts that I found out about it is the guy who plays the Ra, who's the bad guy in the film, is a guy called Jay Davidson, and he's more well known because he was in that film
Crying Game.
Yeah, he was in the Crying Game.
Can I go? Yes.
It's funny the way things go. Never the way you expect it.
And that made him famous. Now, before that, he was just a fashion assistant, and he got like picked out, and he was in that film. And he hated fame so much, and he hated all the acclaim and everything that he got for the Crying Game. If you've never seen the Crying Game, you should check it out. It's a good film. It doesn't get shown that much anymore because of the way that society's changed. But it's a very good film, and he won awards for it and stuff. So he didn't want to do any more acting because it gave him too much. People that wanted to see him.
Let me guess. They threw a load of money at it.
Well, no. Here's what actually happened. They said to him, "We want you to be in Stargate, and you can be the bad guy." And he really didn't want to do it. And he goes, "Okay, well, I'll only do it for like $1 million." And they were like, "Yeah." And he was like, "What? All right then." And so he just did it. He said he hated it. He hated the costume he had to wear in it. And most of the time, his performance was so bad in it because he had a drink and drugs problem that they actually had to rewrite it in the script that because originally he was just going to be the bad guy. And they were like, this guy's performing so badly. Let's just say that there's an alien who's the bad guy and he's taken him over. That's why he's so kind of like, like that.
Good fact.
Yeah. And so that's what happened. And immediately after the film came out, he quit acting, never did it again, went back to being a fashion assistant.
Wow. Most highest paid fashion assistant in the world. $1 million.
That's crazy.
Which is a weird thing because I always remember thinking he was a great bad guy.
I thought he was a great bad guy.
Yeah, because you just don't expect, because he's this slight person.
Yeah.
You don't expect anything of him. So when he's revealed behind the mask, because they all wear the kind of Egyptian...
Yeah, Egyptian mask. So
yeah, when it's revealed behind there, you're like, oh, it's like a kid almost.
Yeah.
But it's intimidating. Maybe because it's the voice or whatever else, or the eyes,
the eyes
like
thing, yeah, the
alien eyes.
And I think we were talking about it recently. I love the sound of those things when those things come down. Yeah, when they come down, it's like I must admit, watching it, it's got a little bit of a slow start. Did you notice it's slow until they really get into it?
I was going to say this. I love a slow start in films, which I don't think modern films take it slow enough these days, because by the time they get through there, you're like, what is behind it? It really builds it up so that if they just went to the Stargate straight away and went through, it'd be like, oh, right, you're through the Stargate. It built up some kind of mystery to the Stargate.
It did, because when they first get to the desert, they just don't think there's anything there, do they?
Yeah.
And they're just like, and then he gets pulled by like a mammoth thing, and it pulls him through the desert, and then they find all of these people who are speaking like a different language.
Isn't it Egyptian? Ancient Egyptian. Yeah, and it's like
something like that, yeah.
Yeah. And then love story.
It has a love story. Like,
he hates love stories.
I don't like. I mean, like, but in their right place, I don't mind them. Right? I think
name some films where you like them.
Well, I just watched the other night, Romancing the Stone, and that has romance in it. And I actually remember watching it and going, They don't make films like this anymore, where it's just like a kind of light-hearted, but it's got the romantic side, but the romantic side worked. It was like when we were talking recently about the Superman film. I like it when Clark Kent and Lois Lane are together, but in that film, they didn't let that breathe. They didn't even let that relationship go anywhere. Whereas watching Romancing the Stone, Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner, it's like, it was a nice film to watch, and it was romantic. And like I say, usually I don't really go for romance in films when it's there just to do a plot point. I don't mind it in this film because it ties into the end. The scientist guy, he stays in that dimension. He doesn't go back. And I like that because I'd forgotten that.
Yeah.
So I did think, as the love story grew in it, I did think, well, it's a love story, but in the end it did kind of pay off. It didn't, it wasn't just he goes there, falls in love, and then goes home kind of thing.
But it is the old trope of the primitive people, not
definitely
knowing, and then they get the lighter out and they have a go at that.
Yeah.
But the middle section of the film went slow for me.
It was flabby.
Yeah, it was flabby, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah, where it's just them sitting around the fire doing campside songs, and then there was not really anything going on. But I think the start I really like the start, really like the end, middle.
Yeah, like you say, because the start it was a fascinating start because it has the whole idea of how are they going to open the Stargate? What is it? What happens? Then you see the special effects for that time when we watched it. It was like
2 years after Lawnmower Man. Check out our
Lawnmower Man video, and then there's people in that turn into balls, and it's like this is way beyond that. This is more like
the abyss.
Yeah, it's like the abyss, especially when they and I'll put a clip of it on the screen. But when they touch the Stargate, and it's rippling like that, and then the face goes through the actual Stargate itself. It's like them effects at the time. We were like, it's kind of hard to think of it that way this day, because say if you're a younger person and you've grown up with Marvel and things like this, you're used to special effects. But when we were kids, it was like when you saw those kind of effects, it was like, especially like say in Terminator 2 when he went through the bars, walked through the bars, and just T-1000.
This is the thing. The kids growing up today, they'll never get the awe of special effects.
No.
We were the first ones properly. I know there was things like Tron and everything before that, but in Jurassic Park, for example, dinosaurs were real in that film.
Yeah,
because you saw them, you're like, how is this possible? It's not animatronics. It's literally something you've never seen before. I don't think there's anything now that people haven't seen.
Yeah, and I think when you say, I remember we went to watch Jurassic Park, there was queues around the block for the film when it came out, and we went to see it. And I don't think you'll ever get back that feeling you get, and I think it's filmed perfectly in the actual film itself. When Sam Neill gets out and he's looking, you can't see the dinosaur yet, and he's just takes his glasses off, and he's and then it goes to dinosaurs, and I've never had that feeling again definitely not for any of the other Jurassic Park films. I never had that feeling again. But when it was what? How is there a dinosaur there?
I know. I saw one about how it was shot, and from the angle of looking up. So they're massive anyway. But it really just emphasized the awe of it, and the ones in the background, and there was loads of stuff going on. That's why it doesn't work now, Jurassic Park, because they just think make a a badder dinosaur, a more aggressive one. It's like, no, take the story back, pare it back a bit instead of just making it bigger and bigger and bigger until it just collapses in on itself.
Well, again, I think that's one of the things with Stargate. I think it's not a big film. It's it's a kind of a self-contained. It's quite a small film, but it's one of those films where, we were mentioning it to each other, that it's one of those films where when you see it, you always forget what happens in it until you see it again, and then you think, oh, that was a good film. And then it'll be you'll only ever remember, I remember they went through a Stargate and there was a bad guy, but you don't remember anything in between.
Yeah, I remember the henchmen. I always thought they were intimidating as well with their Egyptian masks.
Yeah, very.
Well.
Yeah.
But then it's almost that's what the good part when it's revealed that they're human.
Yeah,
and they're just like us. They're human, and then they rise up against it.
Yeah, because it's found out in the end that the alien is he's controlling them, but they don't know it. They see him as a god because he's just appeared in this place, and he wants to. It does have that kind of nail biting thing where when he's like that bomb, like because Kurt Russell's original plan was they go through the Stargate, which I never really understood this anyway, because it was like he was like, my plan was to come through here and then blow it up on the way back, and I was thinking, why? When you've opened it, why do you want to blow it up now? But the bad guy takes the bomb and he's like, this thing you brought to destroy me, I will destroy your world. And it's like, that's when, like you say, you have the start, which is like, oh, what is this? This is a weird kind of film. It's like fascinating, flabby middle, and then it goes to like the action of the final part, and it's like, whoa.
It's a great ending.
It's a great ending. And with the whole thing of, like I say, the love story pays off in the end, and he says, I'm staying. And it's like,
yeah, and he sends that bomb up through the yeah. That's a great bit.
That's a great, because then it just shows like the alien face just being like, no. And it's like,
that was a great ending. James Spader. It's almost now weird to think, oh, the leading man,
heartthrob. Yeah, because he looks very different now when he's in the blacklist and things like that. But I think one of the things that stuck with us of that film was it was kind of in a time where, do you remember you took a chance on films?
I think it's a good point that you make that. Yeah, people took a chance on movies, but the studios took a chance on making original movies. Yeah. They say now that the death of the mid-budget film, you either do one that's no budget or is $300 million and hope for a lot of rewards off all the money you put in. But they don't really do those kind of ones. I mean, that was probably a mid-expensive film, 55 million at that point, but it's not that much.
No,
and you just think they took a chance on an original idea. I don't know if it was a book or something. Was it a book?
I didn't say anything about being a book.
Yeah, it was just a good idea, which you don't really see now on Netflix and everything else. It's just the same rehashed stuff, and then every film that comes out is a sequel, and the top 10 ones are all sequels.
Yeah, because now it's just the machine now. Even though it wasn't necessarily not the machine in them days, but if you think about it, right, they were like, Kurt Russell did that film because he was coming in off other good films or whatever. But at that time, 1993, 94, what film? I can't remember him being in any great films at that time.
No. Yeah,
the 80s, yeah. The Thing and the Escape from New York and Big Trouble in Little China. But I don't think he was coming off like a great film. James Spader, we didn't even know that was.
Yeah,
he'd been like things like Crash and things like that.
Almost, back then they picked almost actors based on they'd be good in the role.
Yeah,
not just let's put Chris Evans in it, let's put Chris Pratt in it.
Yeah,
and because they're the names and they play themselves in every movie. It is. They just don't make them like that anymore. It's kind of it is a shame.
Yeah, but it does stand out as a, like I say, a gem. I would think that's why we rate it so highly. But like we say, at least with these kind of films, they're definitely the kind of film where you think, oh yeah, that film, I remember that. How come nobody ever talks about that? How come it's never mentioned? That's one of the main reasons why we do these reviews, because we want to touch on films that maybe you haven't seen, or you think, oh, what's that? Maybe I'll give that a go, and it turns out to be worth it. That's what we think about it. But what do you think about it? If you drop us a comment, tell us.
Yeah, let us know or give it.
Yeah, sorry.
yeah. I'm interrupting you.
Yeah.
He always interrupts me on the podcast.
Just drop a comment and say, and also any suggestions of any films that you think we might like, based on the ones that we're watching or what you like and you think are underappreciated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Thanks a lot. See you later.